40 kilometres south of Port Moresby, Papua New Guinea, in a bay called Bootless, there lies an island. A very special island called Loloata. Just the tip of a flooded hillock. Loloata may not look like a South Pacific paradise, but don't be fooled by its barren landscape. Below the shimmering surface lies a magnificent extravaganza. Loloata is all about customer service. Guest comfort and diving reliability is assured with 2 well-maintained Reef Master dive boats and experienced, fully qualified local skippers.
Loloata boat, Loloata base, Nelly Sarah.
This saddle just goes off in deep water. Dive briefs are an important aspect of any dive plan. Loloata's crew of professionals have an intimate knowledge of the reefs and species, with detailed maps that outline every dive site. Fully kitted up and checked out, I'm over the side, 60s style. Camera gear is given priority attention and well cared for at all times. Susie's bombing is always a spectacular event. A gigantic cleaning station with thousands of fish as tame as can be. The bommy itself comes up out of 50 metres of water, its sheer sides cloaked in a kaleidoscope of magnificent sessile invertebrates. A vast complex of colourful seaweeds, sponges, stony corals, soft corals, sea fans, sea whips and black corals, all vying for space on this ultimate piece of real estate. Grand side-gilled slugs glide between the corals, hiding from the big snappers that eat them. And cute as nudibranch lives out its life amongst the nooks and crannies, feeding on sponges. A family of Clark's anemone fish inhabit this Merton's sea anemone. Hidden beneath its waving skirt is a spotted porcelain crab. This fascinating little crab fishes for plankton by rhythmically waving its hairy sieve-like mouthparts. Here and there, barramundi cod idle down the drop-off to disappear into the hazy blue depths, while a yellow trumpetfish waits for unsuspecting prey in the shadow of a giant sea fan. Further down the slope, a group of spotted sweetlips line up to be cleaned by an ever-eager cleaner-ass. The reefs are honeycombed with caves and swim-throughs where resident schools of squirrelfish hole up during the day. The outer reef is exquisite, with stacks of rare species including harlequin shrimp, the short-spined sea urchin and Bargy Bant's pygmy seahorse. It's hard to imagine seaweed having such vibrant colours, yet here is living proof. Red algae as bright as can be. Few creatures anywhere could rival the bright colours of nudibranchs, especially the intense yellow of this minor Nododoris nudibranch. Often seen out hunting during the day, eyelid sea snakes search every nook and cranny for sleeping scorpionfish which they swallow whole. These snakes are very inquisitive but have very poor eyesight and often can't tell divers from the reef, so don't worry if they give you the once-over. This pair of fragile file shells were discovered living beneath a piece of dead coral way out on the sand at 30 metres. They swim by jet propulsion and have sticky tentacles which protect them against small predators, but snappers will swallow them whole. First discovered by a French diver in New Caledonia, the lacy scorpionfish was described from a single specimen in 1973. It remained virtually unknown until 1980, when the second fish was found on the reefs around Loloata Island. The lacy scorpionfish is an ambush hunter and at one time was thought to mimic feather stars, as it is often found hiding near them. Today, divers come from all over the world to see and photograph its many colour forms and wonder at the existence of such a magnificent fish. Loloata Island is one of the few places in the world where this fish can be observed on a regular basis. In 2005, I was lucky enough to see this rare purple form, one of the highlights of my diving career. Paper scorpionfish are also found in many colours. The mauve forms are especially rare. I've only seen 3 specimens in 40 years. These fish mimic dead leaves and rock from side to side, even when there is no swell. In conjunction with the Motopori Research Station, I've been conducting an ongoing fauna survey of the Bootless Bay area since 1980. As such, I have had permits to collect new species for scientific purposes. Over 35 species of sea stars are known from the area. This little multi-pored sea star grows to 50 millimetres and is always bright orange in colour. Fringe-eyed flathead or crocodile fish choose their surroundings so well that it is often very difficult to see them. This species has an internal eye fringe that it lowers, like a blind, to camouflage its eye, making it even less conspicuous. All toadfish are deadly poisonous to eat. They can also bite and have extremely sharp and powerful fused teeth designed for crushing shelled prey. Hermit crabs have soft, unprotected abdomens and must live in shell houses to protect their soft parts. However, to grow, they must find another larger shell, cast off their exoskeletons and then swap houses. Anchor coral is one of the few corals that can be identified by the shape of its polyps. These beautiful commensal shrimps were first discovered living on anchor coral at Loloata Island in 1980. The species was not scientifically described till 2005, and now it is known as the grand shrimp, Periclamenes grandidens. We've also found juveniles living on anemone corals and beautiful adult females on frog-spawn corals. An inhabitant of reef areas, Graff's sea cucumber has sticky pads on the ends of its feeding tentacles with which it collects settled plankton and detritus from the surface of seaweed and dead coral. These pads are then individually transferred to the mouth where the organic content is sucked off. At first glance, the seagrass slopes at Lion Island appear barren. Nothing could be further than the truth. The seagrass and sand hide a multitude of fantastic creatures. Some, like the common lionfish, are easy to see, especially when they are hunting. At regular intervals, lionfish yawn to bring in more oxygen-laden water for breathing. Other critters, such as pipefish, are well camouflaged, and one must slow down, take the time to observe, and learn how to recognise them. It takes a lot of searching to find a flamboyant cuttlefish or a short-nosed dragonfish, but they are out there. Anemone fish are only ever seen in or around sea anemones. Commensal shrimps live on almost every species of sea anemone. Holthusis shrimps live in groups on beaded sea anemones where they advertise their cleaning services by rocking from side to side. Tube anemones build their tubes out of mucus. They often have a pair of magnificent shrimps living on them. The larger one is always female. Flounders generally hide beneath the sand with only their eyes showing. They will retreat if disturbed, moving away and diving into the sand to become once again invisible. The large tail of this narrow-lined toadfish allows it to manoeuvre along while hovering over the sand in search of molluscs and crabs. Saddleback anemone fish live in sand-dwelling sea anemones. They lay their eggs on bivalve shells or dead coral they place beneath the anemone's skirt. In this way, they ensure the eggs will always be protected. The male and female take turns at looking after the eggs. With their barbels continuously flicking this way and that, a pair of bar-tailed goatfish swim over the bottom, searching for any movement that signals food. The chin barbels are so sensitive they can detect worms, shrimps and crabs beneath the sand. An old wheelbarrow in a desert landscape may not appear too exciting at first glance, but out here everything needs to be investigated. Make no mistake, it could well be an oasis for interesting critters. A zebra lionfish has taken up residence at the wheelbarrow and when approached displays its brilliant colours and venomous defensive spines. Due to their amazing deceptive resemblance mimicry, ghost pipefish are not always easy to recognise in natural habitat. This larger female ghost pipefish is being courted by two smaller males. One male has laid claim to her and must be on constant guard to repel the advances of his rival. The female is open to any proposition until her eggs are fertilised. Ghost pipefish that mimic soft corals parade gorgeous displays of colour. Due to the lower light at 30 metres, This giant sea pen is fully expanded during the day, with its polyps out feeding on plankton brought by the incoming tide. The deeper water artificial reefs in Bootless Bay are legendary, and as most have been underwater for more than 25 years, the amount of marine growth on them is exceptional. The wrecks themselves are a smorgasbord of colourful invertebrates. Thousands of incredible growth forms like this colony of midnight coral, surrounded by schools of fairy basslets, picturesque visions of nature's living artistry. Beautiful individuals such as this three-spot angelfish are everywhere, all out and about searching for food. Even the gangways are full of fish. Two six-banded angelfish meander over a group of yellow-tailed fusiliers waiting to be cleaned, while a pair of long-finned bannerfish pause patiently in the railings, awaiting their turns. Late afternoon sees a solitary common lionfish out on the hunt along the deck. In the typical head-standing behaviour of an immature fish, it sculls along, fins flared and eyes downcast, searching for crabs and shrimps. Common lionfish have long, separately rayed pectoral fins, specially adapted for herding prey. Their long, thin dorsal spines are highly venomous, and care should always be taken not to get stung. Juvenile fish can be recognised by the fleshy appendages above their eyes. In older fish, these antennae are generally tattered or reduced to stumps. Standing guard at the back deck, two young mangrove jacks maintain their positions in the slight current, keeping a close eye on all intruders. Poss's scorpionfish is a very cunning, well-camouflaged hunter of small fish. It crawls along the bottom on the lower rays of its pectoral fins. Difficult to find and rarely observed, this one was a new record for Loloata Island. Beautiful nudibranchs abound at every dive site, but few are as easy to see. Kuhn's Chromodoros nudibranch continually raises and lowers its mantle skirt as it moves along, a behaviour that has all